Alright, what's up guys? So we're back here with the Subaru SVX. If you're not following me on Instagram, there's my Instagram. So today we're actually going to be changing out the air filter on this car. So as you can see, I have the other transmission for the car. I ended up getting it back from the trans shop because they couldn't fix it, quote unquote. So I attempted to try to swap the trans out where I live, and the leasing company was not having that. Obviously we got the Genesis here, Mustangs over here, the friend's car. But yeah, so we're gonna be swapping out the air filter, try to get some of these parts that I have built back actually on the car, because I actually have a plan. A friend of mine who owns a body shop actually is all about SVXs, so he knows them in and out. So I'm gonna end up taking the car to him, and in the midst of him helping me swap out the trans and the rear diff, because I have a Forester trans, so the 444 swap. What we're gonna do, we're just gonna pull the whole assembly out. So the motor and trans, keep them connected, pull them all out together. Do a complete reseal on the motor. That way it's good. I mean, it's only at 99,000 miles, but it's also almost 30 years old. So fresh gaskets on the motor. New plugs, basically a whole tune-up on this car. So when this car is running, it's running as mint as possible. So we'll get that going. As you can tell, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen, this is my 92 Subaru SVX. Yes, it has a sunroof that works. I have the passenger visor in the trunk. Actually, I picked that up off another guy. Looks like the driver's side is actually going out. Not sure if you guys can see that. Driver's side's starting to get a little droopy here, but yeah, we'll jump into it. Like I said, the car runs. It does start and run, but driving wise, I got about 10-15 minutes until it gets up to fully operating temps, and then the trans just lose all gearing. So we lose all gearing out of the 4E AT, so we're going to swap over to another 4AT, but it's a 444 gear driven instead of the SVX's 354 gearing, which is prone to failures. And yes, they only came in automatic, so to anybody who didn't know that the Subaru SVX only came in automatic. 92 to 97, only automatic. The only differences really are minor changes like the fake wood grain, or the auto seat belts, or the no airbag in the dash versus the airbag in the dash, which is in later models, stuff like that. But we have all leather in here, Alcantara suede wrapped around everything, and then everybody's hit or miss favorite, the window within a window. As you can tell, the bottoms roll down. Genesis over there once again. But let's jump into this because it's starting to get dark out. So I'm gonna be swapping the air filter out. I don't know. I'm imagining it's probably some just generic filter that's in it now. The previous owners were on the older side, so they're the original owners of this car, and then I bought it. So I'm the second owner of this car that has, as you can see, 99,000 miles. So I'm just trying to pick up the bugs. They did take pretty good care of it, and then the trans failed on them, so I don't blame them for not wanting to dish out more money into a car that's just giving them problem after problem after problem, especially after owning it this whole time. It comes to a point where you're sick of throwing money into something. But I plan on bringing this thing back. Shout out to Andrew, if you're watching, man. We're gonna get this thing running 100%. Also, Andrew has a Subaru SVX, so hopefully I can get him to get his going, because he also has one of my old ones as well. But let's get into this. It should be pretty simple, honestly. So what you're gonna want to do, obviously, pop the hood down here. Yes, I have the cover for that. Let's see. Got all these parts. I gotta start putting these parts on, guys. Alright, so I'll set this on the trans for now. So we have the K&N high flow air filter for the SVX guys, if you want to know. K&N drop-in filter is probably going to work best. I already ripped it open and looked at it. This is going to be the part number for you guys, 33-2232. I'll go ahead and pop this hood open. And yes, my hood struts work. The SVX guys will know what I'm talking about on that. So what we're going to do, super simple. Pull back that tab, this tab, that tab, and there's another one hidden back in here, right here in the other corner. And then I'm just going to pull the airbox back and probably just sit on top of the ABS line assembly. And then you got the stock filter. Looks pretty, looks like we've got some oil seeping past. Doesn't look too terrible though. I mean, the oil is nasty, but honestly the filter itself doesn't look bad. A little, I'm not sure who makes that, but yeah. So, how about that? That's don't do that, just throw it in the trash. I'll have to pick that up later. Go ahead, take it out of the box. As you can see, nice little K&N, and then all you gotta do is slide it on in there. If you have something in the airbox, I would suggest cleaning it out while you're already in here, because if you have a rat nest, or if you bought one that's been sitting, which a lot of them I've been seeing have sat for quite some time, they'll have probably built up rat's nest, or just check everywhere in there for, you know, rat's nest or the fun stuff. And then you go ahead, make sure it's level, make sure it's not sticking out anywhere. Drop the box back in place, and you can usually tell by watching these clips because it should be pretty somewhat close to where these things drop in. So you just move the airbox around a little bit, make sure it's seated, and as you can tell, super close. And then just pull the tabs back over. Now obviously if you're going to be buying an SVX, hopefully you have some mechanical knowledge, because you're probably going to need it. Because I go to Subaru, and a lot of the times they look at me like I'm crazy when I mention this car, because they don't know what an SVX is. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. I'm just going to have to reach around this back way. Alright, and that's it. So first mod on the Subaru SVX, we got the K&N high flow filter. Honestly, with cold air intake setups, there is none. You'd have to custom make one, but the actual stock system itself is more than high flowing enough for what this car is going to be doing. The only restriction maybe would be probably in the piping up here where it ripples the air, but you could probably, honestly, if you wanted to, cut that out and just put in a tubing in there. But even though the plastic's probably better than a metal tube, the metal tube's just going to heat soak with the intake here, the headers down there, the exhaust like right there. So this whole setup is probably more ideal if you actually want some kind of gain in anything. Even though it would be very minimal, that would be the way to go. I'm going to be breaking this down into a couple other videos, because I also have the headlights, the high beams, low beams, fogs. I have way more stuff. Let me show you guys. In the trunk, I'm prepped and ready for the motor and trans to be pulled, and the trans to be swapped, engine to be resealed. Slowly got a couple things here. So we got trans oil for the new 4E80 or the 444. Obviously you're going to need coolant. Diff oil, which is 7590. 80W90 is what the manufacturer recommends, but you can run 7590. I got full synthetic Valvoline. There you go. And like all new seals, like I said, I'm trying to bring this car back. I also have the new trans filter for the Forester trans, as well as the serpentine belts for the EG33 or the SVX engine, along with, you got to get the NGK iridiums, because why not? And a couple other things. You know, you got brake cleaners, some simple green just to help wash the engine down. And while I was getting, so this is the old passenger visor. It actually kind of ripped off, as you can tell. I have the other one back here along with another trunk seal, because he was just saying, hey, if you want it, you can have it. So boom, trunk seal. But yeah, So we're gonna go ahead and probably just, this will probably just be more or less the end of the video. I'll be making another video soon with the headlights. I didn't make a video on the speakers. I did install new front speakers because the cones themselves were ripped apart. So like I said, this car is an older car, and the people I bought it from weren't into actually like modifying the car itself. So that's why I'm going through slowly and like bringing it back up to date. I still got to post a video on the radio install since I swapped over to a touchscreen. Let me turn it on. Auto belt's going. I got this cool little cigarette lighter thing to show volts. It looks like I'm a little bit low, but it's been because I've been messing with it. But obviously this gives it a nice update to compared to a 92 radio with a cassette player. You know what I mean? And then we're running Soundstream 6.5s up front. If you're gonna run 6.5 speakers, Subaru made it stupid for the mounting locations on the front speakers. They have a 3 mount location, kind of like set up like that, like a triangle. So you're gonna have to literally drill 4 new holes if you do want to run that. It's really not that bad though. I mean, it could be worse. There's the display we're gonna be running for everything. You got time, all that, and it's an Android system, so whenever it connects to Wi-Fi, it updates, and you can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. Or if you have like streaming on your phone, where you can just stream off of it, this thing will connect to the Wi-Fi. It's Bluetooth, video, all that good stuff. So you can sit here and watch. I could sit here on the internet and just Google stuff all day if I wanted to power it on Wi-Fi. But so that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. Like I said, I will be dropping more videos. I have tons of stuff coming. Once the engine's resealed, transits replaced, dips replaced, which I have all that, along with all the seals for that. Then I can actually start progressing a little bit more, like the coil install, or when it gets tinted, or the exhaust setup, because I have the exhaust set up and I already set the date for window tinting. So you know what I mean, I'm just trying to move the ball back, move the ball along, because if you guys have been watching my channel or have me on Instagram, you'll see I've been posting pictures of the car with updates here and there. Basically the trans shop couldn't do it. They tried to kind of screw me out of money, almost $2,000, and I ended up obviously not liking that. So basically argued with them, got my money back, and now I'm just going this way. Because as you can tell, so I bought this car 10 months ago and I still haven't even got it inspected yet. Obviously it doesn't drive, so that would be, you know, it's kind of pointless. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in the SVX content, subscribe, smash that subscribe button, guys, because I got a whole bunch of stuff planned for this car. But yeah, besides that, hopefully if you're newer to any messing with cars or anything like that, hopefully the air filter install helped you out a little bit, even though it was super simple and easy. Some people, you know, some people just aren't like that. But besides that, I'm glad you guys are here. The channel's growing like you wouldn't believe, which is awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for that. Let's just keep the channel growing. Let's get it going. Let's get it growing even more. I have stuff I have planned for the Genesis still, tons of stuff for the SVX. And yeah, hopefully if I can get the channel big enough, I wouldn't mind honestly picking up some sort of Honda. But the only thing that kind of catches me with Hondas is they're kind of like, there's almost nothing you can do to them that hasn't been done. Hondas have been have been messed with so many times that it's almost hard to even mess with a Honda because everything has been done to them. But I mean, that would be a thought process for me in the future. I always did like the EG hatches. And if I ever did get one, I always thought it'd be cool to do a K20 all-wheel drive swap. Get, you know, the CRV trans and then the K20. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Like I said, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel below. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the SVX. How do you guys like these windows? The window within a window. Besides that, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.